Welcome everybody to the Heat That Moves podcast with Trevor and Josh and Wayne, where we talk about business, but mostly life with a little bit of business. So we got a lot of fun stuff planned today. We're going to talk about how Wayne lost his rear end playing meme stocks. So, it's an important lesson to learn there. We're going to talk about the Super Bowl, which is a very significant cultural event. We're going to talk about, because we're all, late 20s, early 30s, how social media used to be and some potential pitfalls associated with how it used to be. So we're in for a great show. And everybody, thank you to all 9 of our subscribers.
We appreciate it.
Yeah.
Most of them were us or people related to us. Thank you.
We're about to break 10. I can feel it.
We'll get 10 maybe. I think we can do it.
This time next week, we're going to have 11 subscribers.
Oh. Which, on a percentage basis is strong.
Yeah,
it's strong.
Big jump.
Yeah, I think it's good. So, Wayne, obviously we talked at length last time about Gamestop, and we don't want to, pour too much salt on the wounds that are still very raw, but we promised the people follow-up. So can you give us some follow-up? What happened?
Yeah. Okay, so I know I said I was going to either do the next show from a yacht or a cardboard box. It wasn't nearly as volatile as I thought it was at that time, so I'm still in my house and things are okay, but I'm definitely closer to the box than the yacht.
Now I have to ask real quick, are you sure that you're not just using a photo of what your room used to look like as the virtual background for your Zoom call? Can you verify that that's not the case?
No comment.
Okay, I'm sorry. Continue.
Nice.
I have a little bit of pride, so I'm just not going to talk about that. But anyway, so my hands weren't really as diamond as I thought they were, and I was saying they were on last week's show. So I did sell, but it was a little bit more complicated than just like selling at some point. What I did was I noticed a little bit of a pattern that was happening where it would like start off high and then it would go down during the day and then it would go up a little bit. So that second day that it went up at open, I sold everything then, waited until halfway through the day, and I bought back low. And I did that twice, and I brought the average of my my average cost per share from like over $300 to about $180 something a share of GameStop. And then I just started thinking about it and I was like, it's not going to happen. I don't think. And I don't want to lose all of my money because then I would be sad. So I sold. I want to say Friday of last week.
At what price?
I still lost. It was, I want to say it was in the 60s, like upper 60s, almost 70. So
yeah,
I lost about $900 on that, but I made a couple $100 in other things that I was in. So it wasn't a great week. I lost definitely over I'd say I lost over $600.
Dang.
I lost the PlayStation 5.
Oh,
man, you still can't get those. So, Josh, what's your take? Did this shake out the way you thought it would, Josh?
Yeah. Well, what was our bet? What was my number? I think it was.
I'll go back and I'll put it on the screen. I'll be like, "Here's Josh's number," and I'll have a number show up. Over there, and then I'll have my number show up right here.
Right.
We definitely didn't hit the price ceiling.
Yeah, it's true.
Sure. It's true. Definitely not.
It kind of played out. I didn't know how. I actually thought it could go up some more, but eventually it would quickly fall.
Mm-hmm.
Interestingly, I kept track of the $50 put for January 2020 because I was wondering, because that's what I was going to buy. I was going to try to get a $50 put January 2020. Mm-hmm. And when it started, the price started increasing on GameStop, the put price increased. Like I was like, what the hell? Like the put price, people were buying or asking more for their puts because I guess they thought, the price was going to go down, in the short amount of time. I checked today, the put price is about the same. So the price like in January, so a year out, didn't change a whole lot.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It's kind of, I think in general, it's not surprising, but still kind of sad that it didn't go higher. I mean, it's still pretty impressive what everybody accomplished, Wayne, you included. That's pretty impressive. And a lot of people lost a lot of money. I mean, compared to what, what it was worth at its peak, but it's still cool to see people rally together like that. And
it was fun.
Yeah, it's cool. I enjoyed it.
I'll tell you what I learned though.
Oh, it's good. What'd you learn?
If I ever get into another play like that and they start taking whatever stocks off of different brokerages, I'm selling right then. I'm not gonna think, oh, like they'll lift the restriction at some point and it'll go back up. I'm selling. Yeah. And then maybe if they lift the restrictions and it seems like a good idea, then I'll get back in at that point. But I'm not playing this game where it's all controlled by where there's restrictions. I'm not doing that anymore. Yeah. Waiting for restrictions to lift, because by the time they lift the restrictions, I mean, you've most likely already lost. That's what
Robinhood did what they wanted to do, which was essentially squash that movement. I have a little confession to make. So I lied to you guys. I bought some that next day, Wayne, after we were talking about it, but I put a limit order to sell that was so high that immediately it sold because it was jumping all over the place. So I don't really count it because I didn't have any anxiety about it, but I had to kind of come clean. And then I did the same thing with Dogecoin.
You did? Nice.
Yeah, but again, price was so volatile.
Dude,
it just hit that limit sell price so quick that it was just out of there. But the last thing I was going to say was we've talked about Bitcoin on the last episode. I have Bitcoin from 4 years ago that I bought in at $13,000 a share, and now it's much higher. And Elon Musk, chief trolling officer of the meme stock market right now, they pumped 1.5 billion. He and Tesla 1.5 billion into Bitcoin, and I think he's just trying to again hop on the meme train, drive that price up. I think it'll help him because he knows that he's got clout. But Wayne, while you lost a couple $100, I made a couple $100 because Elon Musk pumped a whole bunch, $1.5 billion. Did I say $1 trillion? $1.5 billion into Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And so that's pretty great. So, I mean, you got bad news. I got good news. I'm sorry.
Actually, real quick, I got one question for you, Trevor. So I saw this, but I didn't do I didn't dig on it at all. Is Apple planning on doing something with Bitcoin?
Oh, I don't know.
I just heard that there's rumors about them doing something with Bitcoin. I'm just not sure if that's true or not because I didn't do any research. I was going to ask you.
I haven't seen anything, but my completely unresearched shot from the hip take is that I would be surprised, just because I think from a brand perspective, I don't see a lot of alignment between their publicly stated acted upon values and the mission of Bitcoin. But at the same time too, it's like everybody was talking about this last week, how they'd entered into an agreement with Kia and Hyundai to produce electric cars, and then that fell through. So it's that stuff. It's hard to tell, but the stocks not quite what it was before the whole run on Robinhood, but their stock's back pretty good. But that'd be cool. I mean, I'm long on Bitcoin. I think it's a part of the future. It's just a matter of how soon and who are the first movers. Tesla makes sense, I think, from a brand Elon Musk's brand. I think there's alignment there. Apple, it's harder for me to understand, but I could still see it. But I don't know.
I was a net negative on the GameStop thing, by the way. I don't know if I shared this with you guys, but I had a Bitcoin position.
Mhm.
I sold it to fund my GameStop potential position. And that was I also bought it when it was about 12,000 a coin,
Yeah.
and I sold at 32,000. So
Okay.
I
Still
think
pretty
today,
good.
yeah, today it's 46. So I'm kind of pissed.
So, did you sell a whole Bitcoin?
No. I sold partial coins, but yeah, the GameStop thing was a net negative to me in like opportunity costs.
Yeah, and the fact, I mean, it's like you couldn't have played it worse. 2020
Yeah.
hindsight. You couldn't
Right.
have played it worse.
Okay.
Well, I think speaking of memes, the Super Bowl. So, what'd you guys think? Super Bowl 55.
Something like that.
I think so.
LV, I think that's 55.
I think it's Super Bowl Live.
Ooh, that would have been good. They missed that opportunity. That's a shame.
It did.
Live, especially when people are locked down in a pandemic. Like, live, watch the Super Bowl and watch ads and keep watching TV. Live your life. Yeah,
right.
You can't do much living right now. But what do you guys think?
I wasn't a fan of it personally. Oh, I didn't enjoy it like I usually do. It just wasn't a very good game in my opinion.
I really enjoyed it. I liked Tom Brady stomping all over Kansas City. That was fun.
Yeah.
Did you all put any money on it, or what would you have put money on if you had, before the game? Ex ante, what would you have bet on? What do you think?
I haven't been paying attention to football enough this year to really know what to bet on. Like, I haven't been watching games or anything like that. So I wouldn't bet on anything except for like heads or tails on the coin toss or something weird.
That's a fun one.
Yeah.
What about you, Josh?
So I learned through my podcasts and the Super Bowl happening is at FanDuel. So FanDuel, if you want to sponsor our podcast, feel free.
We can put it right here. FanDuel.com
FanDuel.
/heat that moves.
Thank you. They've started to do this thing that you've never been able to do. You've never been able to. I think it's a parlay. So choose one thing to happen, combine with another thing to happen. So
like a conditional bet. A conditional bet.
Yeah. So you couldn't do like a player-specific thing tied to the outcome of the game. So you couldn't say like, I want Brady to do whatever, throw 600 yards, and also for the Patriots to win. But on FanDuel, they let you. So you could have said, I want Gronk to score some touchdowns, maybe 2 touchdowns like he did, and then you attach to that the Patriots winning, so that you get it combines more than the combination of the 2 bets, something like that.
That's really cool. I think what's great about that is I think it's more fun. It's more fun as a consumer, right? Even if your odds are probably lower, but it's also great for them because the odds are lower. But I think that's really fun. Like that seems really fun to have like some really specific outcome to where you're like not just wanting an outcome. You're wanting like 2 very specific events to happen. That seems like a lot of fun from a betting perspective.
And it is parlay. That is the right
parlay.
Yeah, parlay.
It's good.
So I had parlay. I had 2 others. One was I do think Tom Brady is the GOAT. I used to not like Tom Brady, but now that he just wins the most out of any QB ever, I just it's nice to be along for the ride and see what he does. Number 2 is favorite commercial. I really liked the Budweiser commercial, where the Bud Light commercial. Sorry, not Budweiser. Where the truck flips and then they summon all the people of Bud Light past.
Oh yeah,
Avengers style to help them. That's a good
I know
one.
Post Malone was in there. He's kind of the biggest stan of Bud Light out there.
Who else?
I'll say
Cedric the
I saw that
Entertainer.
commercial on Instagram beforehand. Oh, sorry, Wayne. Who else was in it?
Oh, Cedric the Entertainer.
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
in
he's
it.
Who
great.
else?
So
Weren't
funny.
the Clydesdales in there too?
I would imagine, unless they're
Don't
like
remember.
strictly Budweiser. I don't know.
I think they are because I would have definitely put in the frogs.
Hmm.
They go Budweiser. Anyway,
Yeah.
Budweiser. I didn't watch the game, but I saw that Bud Light commercial. Did it? What did you all watch the halftime performance? The Weekend performed.
Yeah, I did.
I did.
It was
Okay,
We could talk
what are your
about that.
thoughts?
It was okay.
I would have liked it. I think there was a lot of like errors in it, like not like things that were unintentionally happening, that caused it just not to be as
Hmm.
crisp as normally it should be. And I think that's probably just because COVID. I assume they haven't practiced as much or something
Hmm.
to that effect. And then I looked it up, and I guess some like of the sound people were watching it, and there were some just weird things happening that I didn't notice. But yeah, I thought it was interesting. I wish it would have been more clean and they had more time to practice.
That's interesting. Did you like the guy? Do you like his music? The
I like
Weeknd?
his music. I actually liked the performance. I know it's probably not for everyone though. It was very not a, it was kind of like scary. I thought if you were like a little kid,
Scary.
because they were all wearing bandages on their faces. If I was like 8 years
Oh,
old, I'd be
yeah.
like, "Why are
Mm.
this is strange, like zombie esque."
I
Yeah.
thought it was okay. I do like The Weeknd. I'll get that out there right now. I like The Weeknd. I like his music. I listen to it and everything. I just don't think that he did a good job as far as like being live. And
Okay.
I don't know how much of that had to do with the audio people or whatever. It just didn't really work for me, especially when you compare it to some of the like past performances.
Yeah.
When I think about like, let's see, Bruno Mars destroyed it.
Yeah, he
I
did a
mean,
good job.
Prince, Beyonce. There's
that-
been a lot of people
man.
that I mean, it's
Yeah.
just hard to compete with, I guess. But
Prince's
that's kind of what I
performance was
expect.
amazing. Prince was amazing. And
Yeah,
I remember distinctly, that had a moment, and then of course the infamous Janet Jackson and JT moment. But the Prince had the moment where he has his guitar in the love symbol, and he stands behind this curtain, and he puts it in such a way that it looks phallic. I distinctly remember that, and I already liked Prince, but I was like, that's edgy. And then I have to just share this real quick because I don't have a lot to contribute otherwise. I distinctly remember the Janet Jackson, Justin Timberlake performance, right? Which I think was got to be like 40, 41, 42, somewhere around there.
yeah.
And I was at a youth group. This is back when I was involved in something like youth group, a youth group watch party. And
Nice.
it was the kind of thing, and I think it was because of who was there that I saw it and I didn't think it was a mistake, but I remember being shocked by it that they could show that on TV. And I think those are really the only two moments of any Super Bowl I've ever watched that have stuck out to me. But I'll go back. I'll watch the Weeknd's performance because I like his music too. It's just kind of a shame to hear that it wasn't. He didn't nail it, but dude's also like he's like 32 or something. You know what I mean? Like he's had a 10-year career, 11-year career, but at the same time, like he's a young dude. Like, can you imagine one of us like trying to like direct a Super Bowl performance? I guess NFL players are that age also, so it's kind of like maybe
I think we could all do it.
Too much slack. Yeah, we could do it.
NFL,
well, maybe
call us. We'll give
maybe
you
that could be a long-term goal. We get up there with some microphones and
Hell yeah.
talk about nothing for about an hour.
That was part of why I didn't like it. I thought he got up there and sang, but like there was a lot of points where he was just standing and walking across the stage and singing. Where you look at past performances, like I really enjoyed Katy Perry's halftime performance because it was just like stage change after stage change after stage change. And like, how do they fit all these stages into halftime?
Where did they go?
Left shark and right shark.
That's right. And you got a memeable moment. You got a meme out of it, which is important.
Yeah.
I've seen some memes about The Weeknd though.
Yeah, you have that blurry shot of him close to the camera.
Yeah, it's usually about looking for something. Like when he goes in that like weird maze, he's like looking around. People just have jokes like, "This is me looking for whatever," and then it'll be a picture of that.
They're pretty good. I enjoy them.
I like him too. Do you think that he? So I mean, if I was doing the Super Bowl to perform during halftime, my whole creative direction would be centered around memeable camera shots. Do you think he planned that out, or do you think that people were they were like, we have to get a meme out of this, so let's find some stills? Like, do you think chicken or the egg? Did people just want a meme, or do you think he was trying to give them a meme?
I mean, I think people want memes, but how do you predict what's going to become a meme?
Yeah, I don't think they.
Just think about it. The most random moments become memes. Like, I mean, there's the Bernie Sanders thing. He's just sitting there. He's not doing anything. He's not trying to make a meme.
Yeah.
There's Yao Ming. Like, that's an old one where he just laughs during the interview, and that became a meme. Like, there's no way to really control what becomes a meme and what doesn't. I guarantee you. People try to make memes all the time or make memeable moments all the time, and no one ever picks up on them. And then just something random takes off.
That's a good point. Can you imagine how many big advertising firms there are out there that get approached by like a global brand and they're like, we need a meme. And they're like, yes, sir. And they come up with a bunch of stuff that never takes off. So you think that a meme is fundamentally unintentional?
Generally speaking. Like, there's not a formula for it. It's just the right moment, and then someone seeing it and, putting the right text on it that makes people laugh or makes people think or whatever.
I mean, I've heard the way to do it is just to make a lot of content, and then eventually something will come up from your content. Like, I bet if they intended to do that with the halftime show, there was a lot of other moments which I would have thought that they would have thought those moments were going to be memes. Like, I don't know, there's a scene where there's a bunch of people with bandages on their faces. There's a bunch of dancing outside. I don't know. Not because the meme that caught on was the blurry face looking to the camera. But I don't think they ever intended for that one to become the meme.
Yeah, it seems like they probably would have focused the camera a little bit more if they thought it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that was making me dizzy. I was like, give the camera to someone else, please. Focus on singing.
That's a good truth that we've mined out of this. You can't, like Wayne said, a meme is like fundamentally not intentional, and then Josh's tip is just quantity of content. Eventually, something. And I guess also too, nowadays memes have to be a cultural reference to something. So, like, for example, if Wayne makes a funny face on this podcast, that's not going to get memed because their audience isn't big enough yet. And it's not a reference to anything bigger. But it's like it has to be something that people recognize, right? You have to have that component too. So I mean, we'll just keep doing this podcast until we get, I think if we get a meme, we can kind of call it quits.
All right. So who do you think would get the meme? Like, if there was like out of the three of us,
I think you're meme worthy, Wayne.
Agreed. Yeah.
Well, actually, if I thought about it, I would probably say Trevor.
That's what I was thinking. Definitely Trevor.
The background with all the wood and like the light. I don't know. It's cool.
And
I could see it. Yeah, I could see it being a funny face, right? Like
you're like a young Ron Swanson.
Yeah.
That's what you,
nice.
You give off that vibe right now a little bit.
I appreciate that.
Wood
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I like whiskey, but I can't make anything.
I like whiskey.
I can't make anything, but I like whiskey. I have a mustache.
You make music. I was listening to the intro music a minute ago, and it's fire.
Pretty good.
Man, I like the intro to our YouTube video. I guess that's it.
Yeah.
another time.
Which, for all those listening, it's a great intro. So what you should do is you listen to the podcast once all the way through. You get to hear it at the beginning and the end. And then if you want to hear it again, you listen to the entire thing all the way through again. And you keep doing that so you can hear the intro music. That's really important to do. After you subscribe and like.
Right.
And then you make another account and you subscribe and like. So, I mean, it's really the way to do it.
Yeah.
And share with your friends.
Well, I think, today, now we should really get into the meat of our conversation, which is we already established earlier that, even though we don't look like it, we're all in our late 20s or early 30s. And, the social media landscape now is dominated by TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, but that was not always the case. And as, obviously incredibly entertaining gentlemen that we are, we put ourselves out there and learned a few lessons about social media back when there was things called Zanga and MySpace and AOL Instant Messenger, things that are now existent only in history books and are on Wikipedia. So I'm kind of curious if you guys had any. Did you guys have any really solid, pivotal learns from your time in the Wild West era of social media?
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Wayne, do you want to go first?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
One cool thing that kind of carried over for a little while was I kind of started to try to learn HTML for my MySpace page.
That is a great point.
Just so that I could customize it, get the music right, have the background, make the text look different, all that like random stuff. I was like learning HTML just enough so I could do that, which helped later on with other things like WordPress and stuff. So that was one of the cool things I took away. That's
like very positive.
Yeah.
That is like, I bet there's a lot of web developers out there that they're like, yeah, it was MySpace. I needed, Spiderwebs by No Doubt to start playing as soon as someone gets on the page. I need like.
Was that your song, Trevor?
Good point. No,
Okay.
So Josh, I know you guys want to talk about. I'll tell you mine real quick. A couple of early learns. No, I was a Green Day kid, and so you'd hear American Idiot as soon as you got to the page, which at age 12 or whatever it was, it's a pretty shocking song. It says the F word like in the second sentence of the first verse. And what's curious is that I had that song on my Zanga. So you go to my Zanga page and you get hit in the face with, I have dogs fighting right outside my, hey, I'll edit that out. We're babysitting my mother-in-law's boyfriend's French bulldog. And in case he's listening, I don't want to say anything about the dog, but
mother-in-law's boyfriend. Oh, actually, okay.
Yeah. Mother-in-law's fiance's dog.
Okay.
It's a French bulldog from Petland.
Cool.
Here's all I was going to say. On my Zanga, you go to my Zanga, right? Boom. American Idiot by Green Day starts playing, which I love that album. My whole template, I didn't learn HTML. I was too lazy back then, which is a copy and pasted White Stripes themed page template, which was great. The real interesting part is this, that when I was like 12, my dad found my Zanga. And because of the explicit content in the songs, maybe some of the music that was associated with it, he decided that was time. That was the straw that broke the camel's back in terms of, okay, now it's time to take my son to a Denny's parking lot and give him the talk. So that was, so,
Wait.
Yeah. Denny's has not been the same since.
Which the talk? Like the birds and the bees?
Yeah. What's the other talk? Like
well,
stocks,
that's what
shorts?
yeah.
Like what?
That's what I assumed you meant, but like, that's interesting. That language would
So
I think it just made him realize that. Here's what I think his thought process would, because my dad's a really intelligent guy. He's a therapist, like Wayne's. Anyway, we don't need to divulge too much. But
for another time.
I think his thought process was this: that, okay, he's into this kind of stuff. He's internet savvy. More than likely, if he's not already, he's going to encounter sex on the internet very soon. And so I'm going to insert kind of this weird clinical explanation earlier into his development. And so when I think back to Zanga, I'm still kind of scarred by that. And then I'll tell you one more thing real quick before I get out of the way, but I just thought this is really funny. I was all over AOL Instant Messenger, AIM, right? It was fantastic. It was a blast. AIM. And so, you have your little like profile section. So I used all Chiller font. Chiller, like the most illegible, ugliest font, which is I think par for course for people that age. But here's my screen name, and then I'll get off the mic. My screen name was, because I was a big, also when I made it, so probably around like age 10, big fan of the Black Eyed Peas, and I think they were really good then. They had this album called Ella Funk, and they had this song called Smells Like Funk. And so my prepubescent teen boy AIM screen name was Smells Like Funk with one L. And that's really gross in hindsight, but I thought it was cool because I thought the Black Eyed Peas were really cool. So that's I'll get out of the way, but just that's a lot of really cringy.
Yeah, a lot of cringiness. Yeah, I guess nowadays I don't even like to use numbers or anything in my email addresses. I like it to be, straight Josh Hardesty. Like to use a respectable provider like Gmail, even though I currently have Yahoo. Feel free to judge. It's fine. But yeah, I had a pretty interesting experience, and this is kind of a lengthy story, so it can be story time with Josh, or business stories with Josh. There we go. Better segment.
That's on topic. I like it.
Yeah. So have y'all heard of the famed YouTube channel AskMasters69?
No.
No? Okay.
Only whispers.
Well, yeah, I Googled it today, and apparently it's only a Twitter account, so everything has been, well, we'll get into that. So back in the day, twerking had just started to be a thing, at least on my radar. And when you go to YouTube, you have to and you like Google twerking videos.
Wait, you just said you have to? You have to?
Right,
you have to.
Yeah, it's a requirement. Have you not done that yet?
Right.
Trevor?
I have. We can talk about that later.
Okay.
Yeah. You need an account. And so me and a friend, we thought it'd be really funny to make an account called AskMaster69. And it was I don't know, we enjoyed it. We thought it was hilarious at the time. Fast forward, I'm in college. I am visiting a girl for the weekend. UT. She lives in Texas.
Good school.
Great school. And we were hanging out. It's South by Southwest.
Whoa.
Yeah. We actually didn't go to the festival. We just went to the adjacent streets, which are also incredibly packed. One of the bars we went into, there's music everywhere. Walk a Flock of Flame walked in the door. That was pretty cool. Yeah. Everyone sort of stopped and was like, hey, do you see Walk a Flock of Flame? He's
right
a
big dude.
Yeah. He also had big dudes with him. It was a very intimidating group of people. Anyway, so we had a good time. I went back home and she texted me. She's like, hey, have you Googled your name? And I was like, no, I'd never actually Googled my name. And so that when I met this girl, I was on a plane to Oklahoma City back from New Orleans because I had an interview in New Orleans. So it was very in line of what it makes sense that she might think of that to Google me, my history. Yeah,
dude, that's like a great way to meet somebody. Like,
yeah,
yeah, that's really cool. It makes you seem very important.
Right. I was wearing a suit on the plane too, so it was it was a good. That whole story is also a story for another time. It's a pretty good story. But I was like, no, I've never Googled my name. And she's like, well, when you Google your name, the first thing that comes up is AskMaster69.
Oh.
And so I was like, oh, dude, that sucks. Which, I mean, if you're an employer, it's not uncommon to like Google the person. It's not LinkedIn that pops up. It was a YouTube channel with this name associated with it. And this was as YouTube was merging with Google. I remember this whole situation, and it was really hard to get that removed. It took a call to Google. It took yeah. Well, a call, and then they led me through like multiple delete screens. There was at least two like delete. Like once you thought your account was deleted, you had to actually go back and delete it in another place to make sure it was actually deleted.
And you have to subpoena them, and you have to take them to court, and you have to, no, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, totally.
Wow. Wow.
But yeah, kids, don't, or Google yourself before you go for an interview.
Wow.
That's my advice.
Wow. That, it made me think of a couple of things. One, I've done so much cringy stuff, and there's a lot of stuff that I don't even want to talk about on this podcast. But for a while I had this picture from Tumblr, because I was also a big Tumblr user, and I would pour my heart out on there. Like,
man,
broke up with my high school sweetheart, poured my heart out on there so that my whole high school could know why. But for some reason, I was kind of a weird teenager, and I did this through like freshman year of college too. But for some reason, I posted on there. My roommate and he was a strange guy, computer science guy. I think they're related. We put red cellophane on all the lights in our room for finals week. So for an entire week, all we saw was red light, and it made us start doing weird things. And I'm not going to blame it on this, but one of the weird things I did was I took a photo of my thighs from about a little bit above my kneecap, maybe like 7 or 8 inches up from there. So you just see 2 white thighs, red light. It looks like, like someone's bachelor party trip to Amsterdam. For a long time, that was like the second search result when you Google my name. Like, first one would be like, like a high school journalism award. And the second one would just be my pasty thighs in red light. and that, I didn't care then. Now I'm kind of like,
is it still on there?
It might be. Actually, I'm going to look right now. Wayne, what about you? Because, Wayne, I'd say this. Josh's story, that's really funny because, Josh, just knowing you, you're like the last person I would expect to have something like that pop up. Like, who's this Josh Hardesty guy?
And then that pops up. Hardesties, probably.
Wayne, I could see you getting a little crazy on the early internet. I could see you getting a little wild.
Well,
taking some risks.
Not really, honestly. Like, the cool thing was, like, I don't know, like, people didn't post everything on the internet for the most part until I was in like halfway through college. Like, even on being on Facebook and stuff, most people didn't post a lot of crazy stuff. Like, at least most of the people I was around, like, you post things, but it was generally what you wanted to post and what you wouldn't want. I don't know. I always thought about, like, do I want this up or not? And I don't know. So I never really had that issue. In fact, if you Google me, you've got to go down pretty far to get to anything that's related to me, myself, because there's this country singer named Dallas Wayne who's still on my channel.
What?
I need to do something, man. Maybe I just something.
That's a shame. Wow. Actually, I mean, that's great because it's like your stuff's so buried. I mean, I'm looking at my Google results right now, and there's stuff like my LinkedIn photos, Facebook photo, some stuff I posted. Yeah, a bunch of LinkedIn, like a wedding registry thing. Yeah, a whole bunch of stuff tied to my current job. The album that my wife and I put out, which you can find on Spotify and iTunes. Spotify and Apple Music, Autumn Ray. So you should look up that as well. What the heck?
There's if you Google my name, this guy's new. A different Josh. I used to be like number 1 or 2. Another guy comes up. His name's Joshua Namdev Hardesty.
Whoa.
He's a designer.
Very.
Oh, he's a designer.
Yeah, he co-run the design company, the MVA studio with S Skateboarding. He looks cool.
Dude, that's pretty cool. My name kind of sucks, so I don't have a lot of competition for it. But Wayne, have you listened to this Dallas Wayne guy? Isn't he good?
I actually haven't.
I wonder if he's
I don't know why I've just never been that interested in him.
What in there?
I saw a picture and
Wayne
was like,
Dallas.
yeah, I just didn't care. But yeah, so.
Okay, here's Wayne Dallas.
Oh no, Siri wanted to call you. That's
funny.
That's bad.
All
Short
right,
apple stop.
I guess should we move on to the next subject?
Yeah, I mean the last subject was really just a throwaway if we had time, but I mean to me it's important.
What is it?
Wayne, you want to cue us up?
So it's best fast food, and
Ooh.
when I read that, I was kind of thinking best fast food. For me, it's always been about hamburgers. And the reason I say that is because I've moved around quite a bit, and everywhere I go, they think that they have the best hamburger ever. Like if you go, mainly Texas, people are always saying Whataburger is the best burger you can ever get. Go to California, it's In-N-Out. You go to like New York, and it's Shake Shack or something like that. And it's always been interesting, especially like in the military when you're around a lot of other people that are from all over the place. That's a pretty common debate that people have. So I'm kind of curious. Have you guys experienced all 3 of those, or do you have any sleepers or dark horses? And
Yeah, I have strong opinions on this.
Yeah, I do too. Josh, you can go first.
Okay, so best fast food. So I really do like Nashbird in Oklahoma City. I don't know if that'd be considered fast food or not.
Yeah,
it is very Nashbird in Oklahoma City.
It's good, but I don't think it counts.
Yeah, I don't think it counts either.
But it's
I just wanted to honorable mention that.
Got him out. We'll put that on the screen too. Nashbird.
If you also want to sponsor us, feel free.
They actually might.
Yeah?
They've only got like 2 locations, and they're in Oklahoma City and Edmond. They might.
I like it. That'd be sick. Number 2.
I have some contacts.
Though, is also an Oklahoma company. Tucker's, I really like as a fast food restaurant. They have really good burgers. They would only compete with this other burger place. I like burger places for fast food. Most of my tops are burger places. I think Five Guys might be the best fast food place. Burgers always, I don't know. I'll buy a burger at a restaurant or wherever. And aside from fast food, I think Five Guys has a comparable burger to any of the ones I've had outside of fast food.
Here's a great, I know we're supposed to save advice to the end, but here's a freebie. I did this sophomore year of college. You go to Five Guys, you eat your burger there, you have a brown paper bag. Five Guys pre-pandemic, they would have peanuts, in shell that you could eat while you're waiting. We would literally take our greasy paper bag, fill it to the brim with peanuts, take it home, and like snack on it for a week.
That's smart.
So that's free advice.
That's pretty good.
I think Five Guys, I think Five Guys should be up there in the like In-N-Out, Shake Shack debate. They're a solid contender. One thing that's really underrated on a burger that they do, fresh jalapenos. You can always get pickled jalapenos, but Five Guys has fresh jalapenos, and I think that's a nice touch. Let me. I'm a big burger fan also.
Sweet.
I agree with what Josh said. But I'm going to go even lower brow and say that I think the best fast food hamburger is Wendy's Baconator.
Whoa. Okay.
Should I drop my microphone?
Nice.
Yeah.
Wendy's Baconator.
I
Yeah.
don't know if I've had that. I'll have to try
Try
it.
it. You can't
don't
say I'm wrong
have
until you try it. Oh, you come on.
I don't know. So lately, I don't know why I've been going to Freddy's if I go get a burger lately. I mean, Freddy's is pretty good. I wouldn't say it was like the best, but
What's drawn you to Freddy's? Is it their skinny little fries? I like those. Like In-N-Out has them
honestly,
too,
I
skinny.
don't know. I just think it's a close burger place. It's not McDonald's, and it's not even that I hate McDonald's or anything. It's just I don't know. Generally speaking, if I get something to eat with a lot of other people, there's a good chance it might end up being McDonald's. There's a decent chance. So whenever I'm making a decision and I don't have to consult with anyone, I don't go to McDonald's.
Yeah.
So
I think you need new friends.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
But so I mean, I've been eating Freddy's a lot, but as far as my favorite burger joint, it's got to be In-N-Out for me. But I have to be a little bit more specific. In-N-Out in California.
Okay.
Not in Texas.
Not in Texas. I have a theory that California, the farther away you get from California, the worse the burgers are, the worse everything is.
That's funny. Yeah.
I really have that theory. In fact, I've got a quick story about eating In-N-Out in Dallas when they first opened one. So me and my friends, we actually went to an anime convention in Dallas a while ago, like a long time ago. I can't.
Sounds like fun.
It was
no judgment.
Yeah,
sounds really fun. We just like bought a bunch of liquor. Just didn't even go to sleep. We were always out doing something every single day. I was the only one who didn't dress up. So I was
in the whole convention.
Pretty much, yeah. I was like the only one, but it was still really fun. But on the way back, I had just gotten back from California, so I was determined to go to In-N-Out because I missed it. I used to get In-N-Out all the time. So we go about 30 minutes out of the way, go to an In-N-Out burger. We get it, we eat it. Everyone's like, "Oh, that was really good." We get back on the road. About 20 minutes later, everyone is like, "We need to stop."
Luckily, never mind.
We ended up going to some like rest stop or something, and literally there was like 4 people, 5 people, all just having to take shits or having to poop.
You want me to bleep that?
Really bad.
Or
leave it in. Oh.
Okay. Like we weren't gonna make it back to Oklahoma. There was no way. So something about that In-N-Out in Dallas, man. It's got the rest of my life. If I'm in Texas and there's an In-N-Out, I'm gonna think twice.
Fortunately, they built a Buc-ee's between Dallas and Oklahoma. So
I was just about to say that.
Now you have a place to go after you eat.
That's the real like Oklahoma combo. You go down to Dallas for something, you get In-N-Out burger on the way back, and then by the time you digest it and your stomach realizes it shouldn't be in there, you're at the Denton Buc-ee's. And like Josh said, you pull over and you got 40 beautiful porcelain thrones to choose from.
Oh, and there's one other thing I want to throw in this conversation. When I lived in Virginia, one of my favorite places was actually a gas station. Had really good food called Wawa's. Has anyone ever been to Wawa's?
I've heard of that.
Man, I miss Wawa's.
On How I Met Your Mother.
It was so good. And it was
what was good there?
It was mostly like sandwiches and stuff. Just think of, I don't know, like Subway if their food was good. And they sold gas. They had just like all kinds of stuff. And for the most part, everything I've ever tried there was really good.
So Wayne, I'm kind of curious. When you lived overseas while you were in the military, did you eat any like Ukrainian fast or Romanian? Where was it? Any like Ukrainian
Romanian.
Romanian fast food?
The little random weird town I was in, there was maybe 3 restaurants. And one of them we would always go to because the drinks were really cheap. And they actually started making hamburgers just because there was a bunch of Americans in town.
Yeah.
And the hamburgers were really good, but they kept running out. But generally speaking, in Romania, where I was at, which was not representative of Romania as a whole, it was like a little town with not a lot there. There was it was basically all pork for the most part. And I don't really like pork, so it really sucked for me. Like I can eat pork, but I just I'm not into it that much. And then they didn't really have a lot of vegetables where I was at.
Oh, so it's
weird.
just pork.
Oh man, it was bad. So basically, you would get like potatoes, and you would get like pork of some kind, like pork chop, or
Cheese and
hot
bacon.
dog, whatever.
I like hot dogs.
So it was really interesting. Like everyone was in shape when we got there, and everyone got home fat.
Pork and potatoes and cheap.
I was I'm trying to get how I should word this. I knew this girl whenever I was in Germany before going to Romania. And when I got back to Germany for the short amount of time I was there, we hung out. And she couldn't stop talking about how much fatter I was than when I left. It was really annoying. I was like, what do you want me to do? Like, there's no gym. I couldn't run because anytime you try to run, you almost get hit up, like run over. So no one ran because people kept getting hit by cars and stuff. It was just nothing to do except for eat pork
That's funny.
chops.
Nice.
And French fries. So,
That's
yeah.
good.
Good story.
I came back junky, man.
I will add.
How much weight do you think you put on?
When I actually don't know. I'd say at least a solid 10. 10 to 15. Or I'm gonna say 10, but that was in a 4-month period, and I'm usually really good about just being whatever weight I am and not fluctuating. But I definitely could see it. Like looking in the mirror, looking at pictures, I was getting chunky.
Yeah, you do. If I might compliment you for a second, you do have naturally good. You're one of those people that looks like they work out even when they don't, which I'm jealous of because I look like I don't work out even when I do. I remember one time. This is going to sound worse than it was, but Wayne and I were in a sauna, just the two of us, and I was like, "Oh, dude, you work out?" You're like, "No." I was like, "Oh, okay." And I diverted my eyes elsewhere.
I used to. I mean, it's all about like muscle memory. If you work out a lot at certain points, then you just look like you work out, even if you don't. You're just softer.
Oh, that's what muscle memory is. I'd always wondered. Josh,
It has multiple meanings depending on how you use it.
That's like the second definition in the dictionary.
Yeah.
Josh, I interrupted you. What were you going to say?
No, I was going to say that I appreciate In-N-Out Burger, by the way. I've only had the Dallas version. And Five Guys because they both encourage getting multiple burgers. Because whenever In-N-Out serves you burgers, they're lined up in a row, and I feel like it's okay to get 2 burgers versus 1 burger. And Five Guys fries are so calorie rich that it is better calorically to get a second burger. So that's why I like Five Guys as well.
I'll say this. I mean, In-N-Out's great. It's a simpler, like more old-fashioned burger, but it is so hard to eat while you're driving. That's my only complaint about it. The way that the whole little thing is set up, the tray, it's hard to. So I think in closing, does anybody have any great advice that's either popped up from this conversation or that, just you come from your place of wisdom that is your brain?
There's been a couple today.
Yeah, we've got some nuggets.
Mine would be Google yourself before an interview. That's some good business
Mhm.
advice for
Mhm.
for everyone.
Mm-hmm. Wayne, you got any advice? I mean, we can just kind of like pepper the audience with advice.
Okay, if you get involved in meme stocks and all the brokerages stop selling the stock or stop allowing you to buy it, just cut your losses right then.
Mm-hmm.
If I would have just ended, like, if I would have cut my losses right when that happened, I would have made like, I don't know, $800. I would have made more money than I ended up, or around the same amount of money that I ended up losing by waiting.
Wow.
I should just cut my losses. That's my advice.
You know, we all learn, and you live and you learn. Mine is if you haven't had the sweet and spicy burger at Whataburger, it's fantastic.
Nice.
I think they're open 24/7 also, but it's a
Patty
great
melt.
burger.
Yeah.
Patty melt's great, especially at Freddy's. Like Wayne mentioned, their patty melt's killer. And then if you haven't had the Wendy's Baconator, get out there and try it. They spent so damn much on marketing that it's, I think, just disrespectful if you don't at least try it. Yeah, that's all I got.
That's good advice.
Right.
All right.
All right, y'all. Well,
I'm gonna
I
go
guess
get a bacon
yeah.
right now.
We'll see you next
You
week.
should.
All right.
Next week. Like and subscribe. Get on your mom's phone and like and subscribe. Get on your daughter's phone and like and subscribe. Get on a stranger's phone.
Yeah.
Like and subscribe.
Do it. All right.
Bye.